Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kasham's Logic, where I give tips to make relationships more meaningful. And today I want to talk about one sided relationship, or if I'll put it in a better way, when you're in a relationship all by yourself. You might have gone through that kind of a relationship, or you might be in one where you're in the relationship all by yourself. Have you ever given too much, but you expect too little, or you give too much and you get little or nothing out of it? If you have, or you know someone who has, then you're likely in a relationship by yourself. It can be a marriage, you can be with a man that is legally married to you or traditionally married to you, but after a while they might check out of the marriage. They're there with you physically, they're still answering husband in court, but they've checked out of the marriage or they've checked out of the relationship. So perhaps you, if you're in that picture or you know someone, then you might be in a one-sided relationship, or you're in a relationship just by your sweet self. So I'm gonna give 5 tips how you can identify that and what you need to do. So the first point I would say is when you're second guessing yourself. If you're second guessing yourself constantly, the key word here is constantly, all the time. You're asking yourself, am I not smart enough? Am I not beautiful enough? Don't I deserve a man like that? Am I not funny? So when you find yourself constantly second guessing yourself, it means you're not sure and you're feeling insecure because the partner is definitely doing things that is making you question your worth. And when that is happening constantly, then there's a high possibility that you're in a relationship all by yourself. And secondly, you tend to apologize more than is necessary. Yes, it's a good thing to apologize when you're wrong, when you've made a mistake, when you've offended your partner. But when you find yourself constantly apologizing, you're apologizing for your errors, you're apologizing for his, if he has a bad day or she has a bad day, you just take it upon yourself, you keep apologizing. If you're doing that, it just shows that you're walking on eggshells. You're not confident in the relationship and you don't want anything to rock the boat. And if you keep doing that over and over and over again, then chances are you're just by yourself in that relationship. And that's why you're scared of losing the other party, even though they are mostly gone. And the third reason will be that you try to give excuse, or you try to make excuses for your partner. When you find yourself trying to justify their actions or their inactions, chances are you're by yourself, because usually this will happen when you have your friends or your family. They, oh, where's your partner? Oh, why are your partner doing this or that? And then you're always trying to justify, if you're catching yourself doing that more often than not, then you have to question if actually you are in a relationship with your partner or if you're in that relationship all by yourself. The fourth point or tip is that you do all the work or all the hard work. You do all the initiating. You do the heavy lifting. Once a relationship is a two-way traffic, it's good that everybody initiates, your partner, you yourself, because you're going to exhaust yourself. No one person can carry all the weight of the relationship. We have other weights we're struggling with our other relationship, with our family, with our work. So it's a two-way traffic. Everybody, it's a give and take. But once you're the one doing all the heavy lifting, you're doing all the initiating. Oh, maybe we should do this weekend. Maybe we should go here. Oh, it's your grandmother's birthday. Is this? You're doing everything. Whew, it's really exhausting. Even talking about it is exhausting. So if you find that you're doing all the heavy work, you also want to know that the person you're with really cares about you. And sometimes you want them to take the lead as well. So if you're doing all the leading, you're in it by yourself. And the fifth point will be that they tell it to you. Usually people say what's on their mind. Sometimes we tend not to believe it, or sometimes we're just hopeful, or we say, oh no, maybe they have a bad day. But really, they tell it to you. They can say things like, oh, you want too much, or you're doing too much. Anybody who's telling you want too much, maybe you say, oh, I need to meet your family, or oh, I need to, maybe you're talking about future plan, but they don't want to talk about it. Or by the time you keep asking, that means you're demanding for the right way you want your partner to treat you. And once they think it's too much, it's because they don't see you in their future. They don't see their future with you, and that's why they're thinking you're doing too much. The person who loves you will be happy. It won't get to the point where they have to tell you you're doing too much. So for somebody to really say you're doing too much, it means that they're not in it with you for the long run. So those are the 5 tips. I want to keep it so short and simple because the last video was so long. I didn't like the fact that it was long. So these are the 5 tips. Let me just quickly recap. 1, you're second guessing yourself constantly. 2, you apologize more than is necessary. 3, you make excuses for your partner, especially in front of your friends and family. 4, you do all the heavy work, the heavy lifting, you do all the initiating. 5, they tell it to you the way they see it. So what you can do when you find yourself in this scenario is to really try to come to terms. It can be painful, but it's better to cut your losses. I would suggest that you step back and try to work on yourself, because at this point you have to ask yourself, why am I getting this kind of partner, or why am I in this kind of relationship? Maybe it's about myself. So it's time for you to work on your self-worth and your self-growth, instead of trying to say, oh, I need to work to save the relationship. You need to just take a step back and work on yourself. It's possible that when you take a step back, the partner might realize their mistake, or realize their inactions or actions that had led you to that point. And if they really care about you, because sometimes when they are going to lose something, that's when they realize the value. So if that happens, then you say, okay, maybe my stepping back have made him or her step forward. But there are times you just step back and they will say, oh, thank God, good riddance to bad rubbish. So that means they're waiting for you to get the message. Most times the partner don't want to be the one to come out and look like the bad person and say, look, it's over. So they keep doing the wrong things. They are not there for you because they don't want to break it off. They want you to do the breaking off. So that is when you know the truth. They will be like, oh, I'm happy she got the message at last. So it's better to cut your losses and understand what you truly deserve in your self-worth. So never you give out too much and get too little in return. It's like a popular saying. I think I'll end this with that popular saying. They said something like, taking somebody, or I'm carrying you like a bag of salt, and you're taking me like a pinch of salt. So when you feel you are taking somebody or relationship like a bag of salt or bag of rice, and they carry you like a pinch of salt, you know you're in it all by yourself. So thank you so much for listening. Please share my video, comment. The more you comment, the more it attracts attention. Thank you so much. Bye. How can I switch this thing off?